All right, it's 5:30, and I'm going to call this Stevensville City Council meeting to order. First off, I've asked Councilman Greenhall to lead us in the pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Greenhall. Now we have Rob Gleason with Valley Grove Baptist Church, who's going to lead us in prayer tonight.
Let me pray over y'all. Good evening. Father God, we do thank you for just being able to come to you in prayer this evening. We thank you for a beautiful day outside. We just want to invite you into this meeting. Thank you, Father, for these council meeting the members, Father. I just pray over their homes and their families. Thank you, Father, for their service to the city. God, I just pray that, Lord, you would give them wisdom and discernment over the decisions that need to be made for us. And Father, I pray that you'll be with this meeting, that it would be decent and in order, and that you would help us to do things that you would want us to do, fall in line with your word, and fall in line with your will for our city. God, we do thank you for Stephenville. Thank you, God, for how you have your hand upon us. May you continue to protect us, protect our leaders, protect our responders, and all those, God, who have a part. Be with our residents, keep them safe. And Father, we just thank you, God, for the greatest country that we have to live in here in America. And Father, I pray that our eyes would always be fixed on you, that we would turn from our wicked ways, that we would seek your face, and Father, that we would pray. Thank you, Father, for tonight. May you again bless this meeting. May your will be done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, sir. First item on the agenda is we're going to recognize some of our local rodeo athletes. I'm going to pass it on down to Leanne and let her take this.
Thank you. In May, we approved advertising that we used our hot funds to sponsor 4 rodeo athletes, and they are Jackie Crawford, if you'll come up front, who set the record at Calgary at 2.1 in the breakaway roping. JJ Hampton was 1.9 at the San Antonio in the breakaway roping. Jacobs Crowley won the Gunnison, Colorado rodeo with an 87 in saddle bronc, and Wesley Thorpe was 8.6 on 2 head at Spanish Fork, Utah, and going to the NFR in a couple of weeks, place 8 in the team roping and heelers. 4 amazing athletes that represented us from one end of the country to the other and into Canada. They wore our logo and represented us with grace and grit. This was our first group of athletes to sponsor, and I'm so proud of everything that they accomplished. I want to thank the Western Heritage Board, we have a couple of members here tonight, for their help in bringing this to fruition. And also a big thank you to Jason, Daryl, and Doug Savine for trusting me to bring my crazy idea to life. So, thank y'all so much.
Can we shift y'all just a little bit so we have the flags and the seal? That's good. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Thank you for representing our city as well as y'all do. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Next item on the agenda, I'm going to be reading a proclamation for the National School Psychology Week. I've got Dr. Stephanie Robertson here with some of her fellow School of Psychology members. Awesome.
Just don't analyze us.
Yes, please don't. Whereas children and youth learn best when they are healthy, supported, and receive an education that enables them to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. And whereas schools can be effectively ensure that all students are able to learn when they meet the needs of the whole child and provide integrated, multi-tiered supports and children, and whereas children's mental health is directly linked to their learning and development and benefits, when the learning environment provides an optimal context to promote good mental health through connectedness. Man, who wrote this? Within the school and community, and whereas sound psychological principles are integral to instruction and learning, school safety, social and emotional development, prevention, early intervention, and support of culturally diverse student populations. And whereas school psychologists are especially trained to foster and deliver in the school and community a continuum of mental health services and academic supports that lower barriers to teaching and learning. And whereas school psychologists help children thrive by nurturing their individual strengths across both personal and academic endeavors. And whereas school psychologists are trained to assess student and school-based barriers to learning and individual strengths, make data-based decisions, implement research-driven prevention and intervention strategies, and evaluate outcomes and improve accountability. And whereas Stephenville should recognize the vital role that school psychologists play in the personal and academic development of our Stephenville children. Therefore, we, Stephenville City Council, do hereby proclaim November 3rd through 7th, 2025 as School Psychology Week, and encourage all citizens to join in recognizing the dedicated efforts of school psychologists and the positive impact they have on the lives of our students, families, and schools.
Is it okay if we all come up?
Absolutely. The more the merrier.
Pretend y'all like each other. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, please.
I'll be much briefer than the proclamation. I wanted to thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you to the members of City Council for recognizing National School Psychology Week. This week, school psychologists across the country are celebrating the theme, Find Your Path. It's a reminder that every student's journey is unique, and that when we work together to remove barriers and support their mental health, we help them reach their full potential. Here in Stephenville, our schools and our graduate students in school psychology are deeply committed to that mission. We're proud to serve this community by preparing future school psychologists and who will work with our local districts across Texas to support children's academic and social and emotional well-being. On behalf of Tarleton's School Psychology Program and the Tarleton Center for Child Wellbeing, thank you for your partnership and for supporting the students and families who make Stephenville such a special place to live and to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to citizens' general discussion. Do we have, is there anybody that wishes to come up and speak at the moment? All right, I'm going to close the citizens' general discussion and move into our regular agenda. First item is public hearing, annexing city-owned parcels R78439, a portion of R28648 and R24340 of Erath County, Texas. Mr. King, have you?
Mr. Kelly.
And Mr. Kellen.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. Always hate following someone that's such a professional speaker. Good thing they left, though. You might recall September 2nd, we brought this to you. This is annexation of city-owned properties. We went through all the public notice and public hearing requirements for that. I'd taken us down a path that I probably didn't need to take us down using a process in the charter. So we went through a notification by publication in the Dublin Citizen for 30 days, received no comments of opposition regarding the annexation, so we're bringing it back to you now for that final action to annex those city-owned properties into the city, out by the airport off of 67.
Any questions for Steve? All right. I will now open this up to a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against the annexation? Hearing none, I will now close the public hearing and consider an approval of the ordinance annexing city-owned parcels R78439, a portion of R28648 and R24340 of Erath County, Texas.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would make the motion to authorize the annexation of the above-mentioned parcels and the passage of 2025-0-30 ordinance.
I got a motion by Mr. Nix, a second by Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Steve. Don't go anywhere though.
Still
All right, moving on to P and Z. First item, application number RZ9140. Applicant Charles Vance Wade, representing WW Investments LLC, is requesting a rezone of property located at 955 North Ollie, parcel R77978, being Block 5, Lot 4R of the S4400 COTS Second Edition, the City of Steenville, Erath County, Texas, from integrated housing R2.5 to multifamily residential R3.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Wade acquired the property as known as the Chandler Mansion about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago at this point, and did a fabulous job on the remodeling of that home. He is requesting that the lot that he acquired on that deal that is surrounded by Ollie, Pecan, and Kite be rezoned from R2.5 to R3. The property was replatted and rezoned from R1 to R2.5 in 2021 by the previous owner. As this property is developed, additional right-of-way along Ollie will be required with the construction project. He is requesting R3. Planning and Zoning Commission convened on October 15th, 2025. The first motion made failed for a lack of a second. No additional motion was made, so therefore it moves forward to City Council without a recommendation. Considering the future land use of the Stephenville 2050 plan, it's designated as complete neighborhood, and R3 development would fall within the parameters of that complete neighborhood description, allowing for a mixture of residential uses at a moderate density. Mr. Wade and his business partner, Craig Welch, are here tonight, should you have any additional questions for the developers. Thank you, sir.
Any questions for Steve?
Mr. Killen, this is a single parcel, is that correct?
That is correct, sir. My staff report mentioned undeveloped lots, but it is singular, one lot. It's acreage size lot, which I believe could obviously be subdivided if needed or desired by the owner. But it is one lot, one parcel, and one lot by the legal description. That's correct.
And it does not include the little narrow strip, if you want to call it that goes from that parcel out to Fry frontage in between the two single-family residences.
That's correct. The only property requested on the application was the larger of the two, but there is a small R2.5 lot between the Chandler Mansion and the house, I believe, on Kite Street, at the corner of Kite and Fry.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Killen.
Thank you, sir.
Can you tell us what the motion was that didn't get a second?
The first motion was to approve and failed for lack of second.
Steve?
Miss,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Kellen, with regard to the area, the neighborhood and all that, all of it is R1, is that correct right now?
So.
With the exception of this parcel, which is, I remember when we redesignated it as R2.5 in 21.
Yes, sir.
At that time, there were quite a few neighbors and people that were really opposed to a R3 zoning for the property, which was being considered for the entire tract, if I remember correctly. And are there any other, has there been any changes in zoning in any of the surrounding or contiguous parcels?
So, thank you for that question. And I might mention that P&Z, there was one person that spoke in opposition, he and his wife. They mainly had questions related to the zoning. Now, to back up to your question on the surrounding properties, the Chandler Mansion, the house at the corner of Kite and Fry are both single-family zoned. Then the small lot between those two properties and the larger lot that Mr. Wade is considering or requesting the rezone for are all R2.5. That's in the block surrounded by Ollie, Fry, Pecan, and Kite.
Mm-hmm.
Working north of that and to the west is R3 zone property.
It is R3?
Yes, sir. Working south of the Chandler Mansion is single-family designated property. So it's right on the edge of where the break goes from R1 to R3. And that's, if you have your, the staff report, there's some maps included in there that will show that a little more clearly than what I'm explaining.
Okay.
Jeff, I don't know if you can get to that page 16. Thank you. So the picture there in the, thank you, sir, the left picture, that is what I'm describing. So everything in yellow is single family, everything in pink is R3 multifamily, and then the purple with the hash, or the purple with the lines is R2.5. The future comprehensive, future land use in the comprehensive plan shows this to be a complete neighborhood, and again, that's mixed use residential at moderate density.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you,
said
sir.
you had only one person speak out opposition? or a
That's
couple?
correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Do we have in the report, I'm sorry, I'm looking, oh, here it is, I'm sorry, of what the plan is to build? Is there some, do they have, I mean, have they given us what their idea is to build there, or is it just?
Yeah, only at a very high level. We haven't gotten into a lot of detail, but Mr. Wade has mentioned, the R3 would allow a higher density, of course. And again, Mr. Wade and his business partner, Mr. Welch, are here for, if you want to ask any particular questions relating to that.
Yeah. Let's do.
So,
Yes.
I'm sorry, so this down on showing the, I don't know what page this is, sorry. On page 6, I think, where it's showing a, drawing of the possibility, is that ours or is that theirs, that they're thinking?
Sorry.
Don't believe I've seen a site plan for this. Are you referring to,
Or maybe
there
it's,
is a diagram included or embedded in the
Yes.
ordinance, and
Uh-huh.
that's basically is showing the setback requirements
Okay.
for that type of development.
Okay.
But it's not, anything submitted from the developer
Right,
at this
okay.
point.
Steve, on the P and Z, what was their concerns?
No one really discussed why they voted the way that they did. So, and since it didn't get a second, there was not a motion on the table really to have a discussion. So we basically tried the first motion to approve, no motion made afterwards. So it just moved on without a recommendation. No discussion held because we didn't have a motion to act on or just to discuss.
Well, that's not a question, but it is a comment. This does follow our future land uses. codes,
Correct.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So things that we've spent months on, working on, years on working on, this follows it, moving forward.
That's good. Yeah, correct comment. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions for Steve at the moment? Hearing none, I'm gonna open this up to a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this project? Mr. Wade? Vance, give your name and address, please, sir.
Okay. Charles Vance Wade, 1083 West Fry, Stephenville, Texas, 76401. Thank you. Hey, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, thank y'all for this opportunity. What I'm bringing to Stephenville is we've got a large acreage right in the center of Stephenville that is zoned right now R1, as you can see. I own all the property that is here. We're not looking to rezone that small tract. That is not owned by WW. That is owned by me personally. The Chandler Mansion is owned by me personally. WW just owns little over 2 acres right here that we're asking to rezone. Only thing we're asking for is that we can zone this to our like neighbors. Everything around us is R3, except, if you notice, this portion right here that I own, that's due south of that, everything else is R3. The only question that we had in P and Z was from a neighbor that's right here that was zoned R3. I'm asking that we're zoned the same as she is. Her concerns were traffic and safety. Well, traffic, this is on a major thoroughfare. Ollie is a major thoroughfare of Stephenville. We have several inlets and outlets. When I was on P and Z, I always looked at, how the traffic was. And we had an apartment complex that's behind, if you will, Harbor Freight, that I was concerned when I was on P and Z about traffic. Well, I went and looked at that. That didn't really change the issues on traffic on those apartments that are there now. What are we planning on doing with this property? We don't have any plans as of right now. But in R25, the only thing that is allowed is duplexes and houses. What if we wanted to put an assisted living? That's not the purpose, the use purposes that's in the ordinances does not allow an assisted living. Also, it doesn't allow for a bed and breakfast. One day, I want to bring my property to get it zoned R3 also. I have a 10-room home at 1083 West Fry. That would be the perfect bed and breakfast here in Stephenville. Right now, zoned R1, it's not allowed. So I would like to bring that later on. But as of what are we planning on doing with this property, we don't have any ideas. It really depends on the ordinance what we're allowed to do. So we're asking that we rezone it to be a R3 so we can have choices. We could do an assisted living. We could do all kinds of different things that's allowed in the use purposes in R3. We're asking that it's zoned like my neighbors. Any other questions or anything?
Any questions for Mr. Wade?
Thank y'all.
Is it your intention to develop this? I noticed for sale signs on all the streets.
Everything's for sale, Bill. Alan, everything's for sale. We put those for sale signs there. If we decide to develop it, that's gonna be a decision between my partner and I. But as of right now, we don't have any plans because we can't move forward without R3 with what we're thinking.
Any other questions for Mr. Wade?
Okay. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Vance. Is there anyone else to speak for or against this rezone? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and consider approval of ordinance rezoning property located at 995 North Ollie, parcel 77978, being block 5, lot 4R of the S440 COT, second edition, the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas, from integrated housing R2.5 to multifamily residential R3.
It follows the rules, so I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-0-31, the rezone of 995 North Ollie.
Second.
Got a motion by Ms. Smith, second by Mr. Greenhall. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? All right. Thank you, sir. Next one is application RZ 9163. Applicant Wyatt Thorpe is requesting a rezone of property located at 587 Race, parcel R32547, being block 2, lots 5 and 6A of the S5100 Milliken and Ott addition of the city of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas, from single-family residential R1 to integrated housing R2.5.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Council. Mr. Thorpe is asking for this rezone. One thing about this lot, it has frontage on 587 Race, but it's a deep lot and also touches Donna Street. So technically could have frontage on both sides if it was subdivided, and I think that's what his intention is to subdivide the lot and then build 2 single-family homes. I think the one on Race Street he's planning on keeping at least temporarily. So Mr. Thorpe is again has the intention of replatting into separate lots if the rezone is approved. We did request a survey that he provided to us. We wanted to confirm that he had adequate frontage for the lots in R2.5. That survey came back at 54 foot. So he meets the 50 by 60 lot dimension if he does subdivide this property. Future land use is designated as town center, which allows residential use. The Planning and Zoning Commission convened October 15, and by unanimous vote of 7-0 recommended the City Council approve the rezone request. I don't see Mr. Thorpe here. There you go. Sorry about that. Mr. Thorpe is here. Should you have any detailed questions, and other than that, sir, I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Any questions for Steve?
Mr. Killen, in looking at the map, he appears to have water and sewer service on Race, but the sewer service on Donna Street appears to stop before it gets to his property line. Does he have adequate lot size to put an easement through his property to carry that to Race Street from the lot that faces Donna Street?
So we did mention that to Mr. Thorpe, and our images are not always 100% accurate, so that we'd probably have to do a locate to know exactly where that terminates. We did look at that, had some input from Public Works, and we believe that at the depth of the line on Race Street, that he would be able to connect to the back of the home facing Donna and bring that over to the connection, but it would require an easement to do that. The only other option, I guess, would be perhaps I'm kind of stepping out of my wheelhouse here, but perhaps a private lift station on the property if he couldn't get the sewage over to Race Street or down to that point on Donna Street.
Okay, but he's aware of that, and he doesn't foresee an issue with that.
We did share this information with him. This is a very flat piece of property if you look at the topo lines, so I don't know if he could extend the line on Donna Street to get to the frontage on his. That could be another option, but we have discussed the water or the sewer line concern, and he has opted to move forward with the request.
Okay.
Any other questions from Mr. Killen? Hearing none, I will open this up to a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this project? You good? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Mr. Thorpe, if you'll state your name and your address, please, sir.
I'm Wyatt Thorpe. I live on 106 Blakeney Street in Stephenville.
Any questions for Mr. Thorpe?
I talked to my plumber. He said we shouldn't have a problem if we do need an easement. But they said there was a possibility of, on Donovan Street, that it could be there. I said, I think their records wasn't a thing back then. I don't know what their problem was. But plumber said, we looked at a couple routes. He said we should have enough, I guess. They were checking on the sewer line on Ray Street, but he said we shouldn't have a problem getting it to there.
Okay. Well, and it concerns me when you look at a development that may not have service, and that creates problems for the owner or for the city, or both sometimes. That's why I asked Mr. Killen about that. But if y'all have already looked into that and you're making provisions for that, that sounds good. Hey, you're gonna divide, you're gonna replat and then build a home facing each street, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And I have parking plans for both sides already.
okay,
So, and yeah, I've gotten a few signatures. I've already started on the next step of getting approval from just the power and gas and all them, and no one's had a problem with it. The sewer
Okay.
was the only main issue. We've kind of already have a plan for it.
okay.
So,
Any other questions for Mr. Thorpe? Thank you, sir.
go.
Is there anyone else that is here to speak for or against this project? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and consider approval of ordinance rezoning property located at 587 Race Parcel R32547 being Block 2, Lots 5 and 6A of the S5100 Milliken and Odd Edition of the City of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas, from single-family residential R1 to integrated housing R2.5.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve ordinance number 2025-0-32.
Second.
Got a motion from Mr. Cook, a second from Ms. Durfee. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Awesome, thank you very much. Next one, application number RZ 9189, applicant Jayton Cogburn representing Richard J. and Rebecca R. Lieb is requesting a rezone of property located at 615 College Farm Road, parcel R29924, being block 87, lot 2B of the S2600 City Edition of the City of Stephenville, Erath County, Texas, from neighborhood business B1 to integrated housing R2.5. Mr. Killen.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. Mr. Cogburn is requesting a rezone with the intention of building a single-family home development. We actually had a pre-development meeting with Mr. Cogburn and his team, and didn't have any major obstacles there. This is a very narrow entrance to access this property off of College Farm Road. When you look at it on the map, it looks very narrow, but it's actually 185 foot of frontage there on College Farm. And as this is developed, Mr. Cogburn is aware that he would have to dedicate additional right-of-way for the College Farm Road. The preliminary site plan that he shared with us, we did look at the 2 points of ingress-egress requirement by the fire department. And that was a concern based on the number of homes that he was considering at the time. He has made an agreement with our fire department, the Fire Marshal, Mr. Lockenauer, and he has agreed to provide R13 sprinkler systems in every single-family home in this development. And so that was one of the biggest hurdles that we had, and that's been addressed. Planning and Zoning convened on October 15, 2025, made a motion to deny, which failed due to a lack of a second. A subsequent motion to approve resulted in a vote of 3-3 with 1 abstention, and therefore this request also moves forward to City Council without a recommendation. Mr. Cogburn and Mr. Reese Flanagan, his engineer, are here tonight. Should you have any specific questions related to the development? Other than that, sir, I'm here as well to answer questions. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Gillen?
Mr. Killen, do you know how many units they're proposing to place on this parcel?
I'll defer to Mr. Cogburn on that, because the site plan was very preliminary in nature, and he indicated that it may change. So with that, I'll pass it on to Mr. Cogburn when
Okay.
so desired.
Any other questions for Mr. Gillen before I open public hearing? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I'm gonna open a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak for or against this rezone? Mr. Cogburn, if you'll come up and state your name and address, please.
I'm Jayton Cogburn. I reside in Granbury, so it's not a Stephenville address, but it's 260 Jacinth Lane in Granbury. And to answer your question about how many units, we're looking at 35 units for that property.
35?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yeah. And there's surprisingly room for more. We don't foresee us doing any more. But if may need to, or to make the numbers work or whatever, we will, but I don't see it. We've actually talked about going down to 30, just so we would get away from having to do the fire suppression in every house. And to be honest with y'all, I'm building another house at the moment, and after our meeting, at the pre-development meeting, I talked to the fire chief, and I'm gonna start installing them in everything I build, just because the benefits from it. So, any other questions?
Any questions for Mr. Cogburn?
Timeline on your build out on this particular development?
So I appreciate that question. Actually, I have my engineers here tonight. I've done a lot of legwork, invested a lot of time, money into this, and as of right now, we're prepared to move forward if we get approval tonight. To start, plans are already in progress for preliminary figures and that such, but to answer your question, I would expect to have the development done, construction done, and ready to build a house by May 1st. And I would hope to have possibly up to 10 houses built by the end of the year. These are gonna be 1,500 square foot houses, brand new, which is odd for this area. But I don't see any problems other than, while we're here tonight, so. Any other questions?
Any other questions for Mr. Cogburn? Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Is there anyone else here to speak for or against? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and consider approval of ordinance rezoning property located at 615 College Farm Road, parcel R29924, being block 87, lot 2B of the S2600 City Edition, the City of Steamboat, Erath County, Texas, from Neighborhood Business B1 to Integrated Housing 2.5.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve ordinance 2025-0-33, which will be the rezone.
Motion by Mr. Cook, second by Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, that concludes our P&Z. On to Public Works Committee, Mr. Nix.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Public Works Committee met October 21. First item on our agenda was an amendment to the interlocal agreement that we have with the City of Fort Worth for their annual hazardous waste disposal program. They have provided this for the city for a number of years and done so at a cost that is a reasonable cost, and it is not passed on to the consumer. It is only by the user that the fees are incurred. They have held the costs as low as they could for as many years as they could. We recognize the increase in cost to do everything in the world, and disposal of some of the things that they receive in this has become more costly because of other requirements. It is our thought and our intention to try to protect our groundwater and our wastewater treatment plant by disposing of these chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, paints, etc. properly, and that this provides our residents an opportunity to do that. They have changed the pricing structure to $125 per household from $95. This is an increase due to those disposal costs. This past collection, we had 39 actual users that came and participated in the event. We have budgeted $5,000 for this. By limiting the number of vouchers issued to 40, we can stay within that $5,000 budget and allow 40 different participants to have an opportunity to get properly disposal for their household chemicals and things like that. The committee discussed this, and it was the recommendation of the committee, and I would make a motion this time to approve the second amendment to the interlocal agreement with the City of Fort Worth Environmental Collection Center for the disposal of our household wastes.
Second.
We got a motion by Mr. Nix, a second from Mr. Greenhall. Any other discussion?
I think if I remember correctly, only 43 used it last year. So
39.
39. So
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
still-
We issued 47 vouchers, but of those, only 39 were actually used. So we went by that to try to stay within our budget.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Our next item on the agenda was the replacement of our meter reading base stations from Aquametric Sales Company. These two meter reading receivers are on our elevated storage towers, and they receive the signals from the individual meters at the houses. They in turn transmit that signal to City Hall so that it can be used for the billing department to bill individual meters. The quote for removal of existing stations and installations of the two base stations was $89,768.97. We had budgeted $94,420. They came in a little under that because Mr. Williams is a really good negotiator. After discussing this with the committee, it was the recommendation of the committee that we go ahead and approve this expenditure and get this started. They anticipated that the installation would be completed within 60 days of approval. The committee recommended accepting and approving this, and I would make the motion to approve the purchase and the installation of the two meter reading stations from Aquametric Sales Company for the amount of $89,768.97.
Second.
Got a motion from Mr. Nix, second from Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item on our agenda was equipment for the landfill. If we remember, the landfill is an enterprise fund, so it generates its own revenue to provide for the equipment and services that we provide there. We have a Type 4 landfill, and we anticipate, since we have been able to successfully amend our permit with TCEQ, that landfill will probably operate conservatively for 30, maybe as long as 50 more years because of the expanded area that we will be able to use. The equipment that we have is several years old, and because we use it every day, it suffers wear and tear. Mr. Williams went to Kirby Smith Machinery of Fort Worth and has an opportunity to buy two pieces of equipment, BP65PX 18WH dozer, and then a PC360LC excavator. The prices of those two pieces of equipment are $936,204. After discussion with the finance department, Mr. Williams has opted to do a 5-year finance option at 5.165 interest rate for an annual payment of $211,922.04. The annual budget that we adopted included $268,351 debt service, so we're actually under that. After discussion with the committee, it was their recommendation that we go ahead and approve the agreements to purchase these two pieces of equipment from Kirby Smith Machinery in Fort Worth, and I would make the motion to authorize that purchase to be completed from Kirby Smith for these two pieces of equipment for a total price of $936,204. The dozer would be delivered within 90 days, excavator expected to be on site within 30 days.
And that would be resolution.
That was a motion to accept.
But it's a resolution as well. correct?
Yes, the resolution 2025R19.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nix and a second by Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item on our agenda was a professional services agreement. We have, and Mr. Williams and I discussed this, approximately $100 million investment in our wastewater treatment plant because of the volume that it receives and treats and disposes of every day. We have for many years operated that plant and tried to maintain it as best we could, but we really haven't had a long-term plan. We have a proposal for a professional services agreement with Providence Engineering to perform a comprehensive wastewater treatment plant process and efficiency analysis, condition assessment, as well as develop a capital improvement plan. There are a lot of improvements in the technology that would make the same footprint that we have at that plant perform more efficiently and more effectively and more cost effectively as well. And we hope that this will help us determine how best to move forward as we recognize the need for this facility to grow. And because we recognize the need for this facility will grow, we need to prepare and plan for expansion as well as have an improvement plan to help us with the ongoing maintenance and improvement. The proposal is for $204,940. After discussion, the committee recommended approval of the professional services agreement with Providence Engineering to perform the comprehensive wastewater treatment plan process and efficiency analysis, condition assessment, as well as a capital improvement plan. The committee voted unanimously to approve that expenditure and enter into a contract with them to be completed within 8 months. And I would make the motion that we enter into that agreement with Providence Engineering.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nix, second by Mr. Greenhall. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Next on our agenda was a drought contingency plan and water conservation plan update. The TCEQ requires us to, I better back up on that. Yeah, it is TCEQ, and we need to do an update and provide that to them every 5 years to prove to them that we are aware of our consumption and encourage our residents to conserve, which our residents do very well. Based on statewide averages, we are much more conscious of the resource of water and how valuable a resource it is than most others are. There were a few changes to the existing plan because of changes in our ability to advertise and reach the public and provide the things that they need. After discussion, the committee recommended that that we approve the drought contingency plan and water conservation plan, and they recommended that unanimously. And I would make the motion to approve ordinance 2025-034, which is the update to the drought contingency plan and water conservation plan.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nix, second by Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Nix, there's two ordinances. One for the drought contingency plan and one for the water conservation plan.
Okay. Does it take two?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we'll do
35.
ordinance 34 for the drought contingency plan. I would make the motion to approve ordinance 2025-035 for the water conservation plan.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nix, second by Ms. Durfee. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Last item on our lengthy agenda is a request from Waste Connections for an amendment for their a 10th amendment to their contract with the city. Waste Connections has provided collection and disposal services for the city for many years. Our contract calls for for them to be able to bring to us and request a CPI increase to the existing rate. This year that, this year that increase was 2.55%. That would change the residential rate 42 cents a month, the commercial polycart rate to 68 cents per month. Waste Connections agreed not to increase the disposal fee, but the other fees will increase by the 2.55% CPI increase. It was after discussion, the committee recommended that the council approve the request from Waste Connections for their 10th amendment, and I would make the motion to approve the 10th amendment to Waste Connections contract with the city of Stephenville for waste disposal and hauling.
Second.
I got a motion by Mr. Nix, a second by Ms. Smith. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, that concludes my report.
Please take a drink of water and a breath.
I'm sorry. There was a lot there.
Mr. Cook, Development Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Just two things, none of which are action items. Just to report that we considered at the last committee meeting, for putting it in layman's terms, I guess I would say, it's a residential home-based business type of ordinance. And it is we took action to refer that to P&Z for consideration and hearing. And it is being done so that we meet state statute, state law. The last session of the legislature basically took the authority away from cities to do this. We still have it within ours. We need to change our ordinance and do that. It's got to go through P&Z first. So we sent it directly to P&Z. It'll come back to this council December meeting, I believe it is. The second thing was the Land Use Plan Steering Committee. As you all know, the Land Use Plan is coming up, and we considered this in committee meetings. We're looking for people for the steering committee. We'd like to have a cross-section in the community. I'd like to ask that people on the council certainly submit some names. They cannot be people that are on the council, though. And it has to be people that are not on the council that can to serve on this, just like we don't ask staff members to serve, because there will be a separate staff committee that's going to work with it too. But we're looking for volunteers. If we would like those names to be forwarded to Mr. Killen and his staff, and then they will be screened, and we'll come back and consider this at our mid-November meeting for the committee meeting, and then it will come finally back to the council. Okay? That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Next up is Finance Committee. Finance Committee met on October 21st, 2025 with 2 items on the agenda. The first item was to discuss and approve audit proposals for audit services beginning with fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. Staff recommended the award of the RFP number 3048 for annual financial audit services to Brooks, Watson & Co. PLC. 4 submissions were received and independently evaluated by 3 individuals. The proposed cost for 2025 is $62,500, with the total proposed cost for the 5 fiscal years being $318,450. The motion was made by Gerald Cook and seconded by Brandon Greenhall to positively recommend the award for annual audit services to Brooke, Watson & Co. PLC, and the motion passed unanimously. Council then approved in a special council meeting afterwards the award to Brooks, Watson & Co. PLC at special council meeting held following the committee meetings. The second item was consider approval of ambulance bad debts receivable write-off. Staff is requesting writing off $578,145.83 of an emergency ambulance receivables that Emergicarm LLC deemed uncollectible. The motion was made by Brandon Greenhall and seconded by Gerald Cook to positively recommend the write-off of $578,145.83 in emergency ambulance receivables to full council for approval on November 4th, 2025. The motion passed unanimously. With that, I can make a motion, right? I'll make the motion to approve the approval of the ambulance bad debts receivable write-off.
Second.
Motion made by myself and second by Ms. Turpie. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
That concludes the Finance Committee report. Now, financial reports, Ms. Harris.
Mayor, Council, this is the report for the period ending September 30th, 2025, the end of the fiscal year. And things were either as good or better than what we had anticipated. For our property tax, we received $2,400 in the month of September. That resulted in a $3,000 increase over the funds collected last fiscal year to date. We collected over 100% of our budget, and that was about $70,000 more than what we anticipated. We received $780,000 in our sales tax in September. That resulted in a $262,000 or 2.7% more than the funds collected last fiscal year to date. We collected over 105% of our budget, and that was about $518,000 more than what we anticipated. Of the $46.2 million revenue received to date, 55% was received in our general fund, 28% was received in our wastewater fund, 5% was received in our landfill fund, 3% was received in our debt service fund, our stormwater drainage fund, and then we had 2% in our TIF fund and our HOP fund, and just 1% in our capital projects and in our airport fund. We received 109% of our total budgeted revenue through September. That was $3.6 million more than anticipated. That's due to taxes, licenses and permits, intergovernmental interest income, and then other revenue. We received $2.2 million less revenue than last fiscal year to date, and that's due to intergovernmental revenue, transfers, and interest income. Of the $43.8 million spent to date, 50% was expended in our general fund, 34% was expended in our wastewater fund. We had 3% expended in our stormwater drainage fund, our debt service fund, and our landfill fund. 2% was expended in our capital projects fund and our TIF fund and our HOP fund, and then just 1% on our airport fund. We've expended 82% of our total budgeted expenditures for the year. And that's $9.8 million less than anticipated. That's due to personnel, contractual, and capital outlay. We spent $17 million less on expenditures than last fiscal year, and that's due to capital. For CETA, they have received 105% of their budgeted revenue for the fiscal year. That's $12,000 less than the previous fiscal year to date due to interest income, and it's $41,000 more than anticipated due to taxes. CETA has spent an overall 57% of their budgeted expenditures. That's $670,000 less than the previous fiscal year to date due to capital and grants disbursements, and $502,000 less than anticipated due to contractual capital outlay and grant disbursements. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Harris? Thank you very much.
We have the investment reports, the next item.
Go right in.
So this is our quarterly investment report for the period ending September 30th, 2025. The City of Stephenville's total market value for cash and investments on September 30th, 2025 was $43,203,187. This is allocated 7% in our demand accounts, less than 1% in cash and money market accounts, 6% in certificates of deposits, 35% in the Techstar investment pool, and 52% in our TexPool investment pool. Our cash and investment accounts earn $459,000 in interest for the quarter. Our average yield to maturity for all of our accounts was 4.24%. The average yield to maturity in just our investment accounts was 4.32%. And then we use a benchmark of the average yield to maturity for a 3-month treasury bill. For the quarter, that was 4.1%, so we're a little bit above that benchmark. And then our average weighted maturity in days of the portfolio was 11.69 days, so we are extremely liquid.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Harris? Thank you, ma'am. On the consent agenda, I'm gonna pull item number 29, and we will discuss after the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item number 29.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, move that we approve consent agenda minus item number 29 presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Greenwell, second by Ms. Durfee. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. King, would you like to discuss item number 29?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, item number 29 was the bids for the police department's SUVs for this next year. And there's just some specific requirements in the state law, so I want to talk about that real quick. They received a couple of different bids. One was from Donahue Chevrolet over in Louisiana. And for the three, it was $161,250. Bruner's was $167,421. It's a difference of 3.69%. We are recommending to purchase them from Bruner Chevrolet, and there is an allowance in the state statute, specifically local government code section 271.9051. I think in the staff report it says 905. That's a little different. This one's under 9051, specific to municipalities and specific to what is termed personal property not affixed to real property. That's possible. And in purchasing under this title, any real property, personal property that is not affixed to real property or services, if a municipality receives one or more competitive sealed bids from a bidder whose principal place of business is in the municipality and whose bid is within 5% of the lowest bid price received by the municipality from a bidder who is not a resident of the municipality may enter into a contract for construction services in the amount of less than $100,000 or a contract for other purchases in an amount of less than $500,000 with either the lowest bidder or the bidder whose principal place of business is in the municipality if the governing body of the municipality determines in writing that the local bidder offers the municipality the best combination of contract price and additional economic development opportunities for the municipality created by the contract award, including the employment of residents of the municipality and increased tax revenues to the municipality. So that's a specific language in the statute. And so as you go, if you go with staff's recommendation, we would ask that that's recorded in the minutes that we have discussed those requirements in the statute. And I certainly think Bruner Motors more than meets the language in the statute, both from the economic development standpoint and the service provided to the city for many, many years. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. King?
Was there a delivery time difference between the two bids, Mr. King?
Yes, sir, but Chief Harris has spoken to the owner, and they more than meet what he's looking for in his delivery requirements.
Okay.
It's a pleasure of the council.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I make the motion that we approve the purchase of 3 police SUVs from Bruner Motors here in Stephenville.
Second.
Got a motion by Ms. Smith, second from Ms. Turpie. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Comments by city manager?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, city offices will be closed on Tuesday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. They will also be closed on Thursday and Friday, November 27th and 28th, in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday. And that's all I have, sir.
Ms. Turpie?
I just wanted to remind everybody that the holiday open house downtown is November 14th. So come down that evening and shop and eat and have a great time, shop local. And then Christmasville is November 29th. It'll start at 10 o'clock in the morning and go until the parade and fireworks in the evening. And so again, come downtown, eat, shop local. And then I would like to wish a good luck to Stephenville's very own Delia Walls, has been nominated for the Danita Barnes Lifetime Achievement Award. And it's a PRCA contract personnel for announcers, bullfighters, secretaries. And she has been nominated for that award. It's a very prestigious award. And she will find out at the NFR in December if she got it. So good luck to Miss Delia Walls. And that's all I have.
Mr. Cook?
Congratulations to Stephenville High School Yellow Jackets on their win on Friday. I'd like to say the same for Tarleton, but you know, look at Dean. You know, you win some, you lose some, so that's the way it goes.
No, we don't.
Can they win? Hopefully we'll win the next two and get in the playoffs, and I expect we will. Other than that, you know, that's all I have.
Mr. Reisman?
Well, I also want to congratulate the Yellow Jackets on an undefeated season. I want to congratulate Coach Brock last night to open up his regular season with a win at the EECU last night against Shriner. And basketball season is upon us.
Mr. Parker?
First of all, I want to congratulate both my fellow councilmen, David and Lon, for running really good campaigns that remain friendly and respectful of one another. It's, we're blessed to live in a community where we have two men that behave like that, running for the same office. We're truly blessed in that area. Huge shout out to the Yellow Jackets, of course, for beating the socks off of Brownwood. Congratulations to our very own Kinley Pack. She came in second in the nation with her agri-science project at the National FFA Convention, and that is huge. And then also a thanks to Hudson Westbrook for his generous donation to our local FFA. That's all I got.
Ms. Smith?
Starting off with the Parks Department, basketball season is now underway, and this year we have record number of athletes down there at the park. And then also we have this Friday and Saturday at the Rec Hall is the holiday market. Another thing is boards and commissions will be addressed at our next committee meeting. So if you have any interest in serving on any community boards or commissions, the application is online. And then I'd like to congratulate the Stephenville cross country teams for making it to the state meet this past Friday. We had two student athletes that placed in the top 20. I'd like to congratulate them. Our Honeybee volleyball team ended their season last night to a disappointing loss to Decatur, but they had a great season and we're still very proud of them. And then the Stephenville Athletic Booster Club, which I sit on, would like to personally thank the city of Stephenville, the Stephenville Parks Department, the fire department, and the police department for allowing us to host another bonfire at the city park. It went off without a hitch, and we're just very grateful that y'all allow us to do that at in our city park. So thank you, and that is all I have.
Mr. Greenock?
I'd like to congratulate the Jackets on Burn the Wood again. Just, I think we did a clean sweep on them all, sub-varsity and varsity teams, and you got about 20 minutes left to vote, I think, if you haven't voted yet.
Mr. Nix?
For those of us who were fortunate enough to attend TML in Fort Worth, It was an eye-opening experience. It was an enjoyable experience. I enjoyed the trip. I think I enjoyed spending time with my fellow council members about as much as anything, because it was good to get to go and relax and enjoy the company of my fellow council members, and I appreciated that, and I want to thank them for their courtesy and their behavior. I want to thank staff, because they did a lot of work putting this together for us and keeping us in the right place at the right time most of the time. But if we weren't, it wasn't their fault, it was ours. And I want to thank Miss Durfee, because she has kept us in contact with the rodeo community much better than I could have. And I know she's done an outstanding job, and I think those athletes that we recognized at the beginning of our meeting are outstanding representatives for our community all over the United States as well as the world, because if you look at some of the rodeos, there's people from all over the world at those, and it's amazing to see them come and compete. And those people are competing at the same level as the others are, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your work and your diligence on that, and they are really an asset to us, and thank you for that.
I do want to make one correction to Ms. Smith. There was one item at the bonfire that did not go off without a hitch.
I was not aware.
That would be my knuckle hair from lighting
well,
the fire.
that's on you.
Also, Stephenville High School does have one more game left at home this Friday. It is senior night, so if y'all see me down on the field with water coming off my eyes, I just got done cutting onions, and it's not the fact that my baby girl is graduating this year. So, with that being said, it is 5:41 and 5:40. 6:41. I apologize. Time change? How that would even work. I'm
Are
gonna.
your eyes already watering?
In compliance to the provision of the Texas Open Meetings Law, Subchapter D, Government Code, Ordinance, Texas Codes, annotated in accordance with Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to consult over a pending contract. I'm going to adjourn us in executive session.
All right.
It is 6:52, and I'll reconvene us back into city council. Is there any action from executive that needs to be taken?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I would like to make the motion to authorize our city manager to execute the lease agreement as discussed in executive session.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nix, second by Mr. Cook. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. It is now 6:52, and I will adjourn us from council.
Almost said city administrator.